Very cool dude. Very cool dude. And coming up in about 7 minutes, I will be joined with Ring of Honor's Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. And I just found out earlier today that it is his birthday. I did not know about this until I checked out my Facebook and it said that it was his birthday today. So Cedric, excuse me, happy birthday, man. I hope you're having a good one. And I hope to talk to you soon so we reach hour number 2 here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And as I was saying, I was recapping SmackDown. Jericho on the highlight reel, Vicky and Ziggler got the last laugh. Obviously, you gotta keep Money in the Bank busy. While people are gonna assume when he's gonna cash it in. I think he still wants to cash it on Sheamus, but we'll get into what happened a little bit later on Sheamus' situation. Del Rio was supposed to take on Sheamus. It was supposed to be the SummerSlam match, but Del Rio had other ideas, and he got the best of him. Sin Cara defeated Cody Rhodes. Jinder Mahal took on two guys trying to pull Ryback, but he couldn't do it the way Ryback does it. Primetime Players defeated Primo and Epico. Kofi and Truth interfered, caused a disqualification. Christian defeated Antonio Cesaro, and Rey Mysterio defeated The Miz. And now, don't forget, this show is on Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Next week, I'm doing my first show at my new apartment. So, you know what they say, out with the old and with the new. And I do realize that Kerry's volume was low, but I did hear him. I hope if you're listening on the show, you was able to hear him. I'll make sure to amplify his voice once the interview is uploaded on YouTube. By the way, I'll feel free to promote this show. You can follow the show on Twitter at TTW Radio. You can like the show on Facebook.
Caprice Coleman, how you doing?
Hey, man, what's up?
Nothing much. Just calling in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing real good, and thank you for being on the show.
No problem.
As we wait for your tag team partner, we'll just go along. Talk a little bit about yourself and how did you get started in professional wrestling?
Well, I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 3 years old. And I wrestled all the way through high school. The neighborhood I lived in, Moore County, by the time I was in high school, the Hardy Boys had like a federation called New Frontier Wrestling Alliance, where they were basically wrestling around the armories and all that. And I joined with them and started like refereeing. Refereed with them about a year, and all. And while I was refereeing, I was training to wrestle, and all. And as maybe a year went by, and all, they told me I was ready to wrestle. And by that time, they had changed the name to Omega, and all. And that's where I got my start, and all. And been going at it ever since.
And how did the tag team between you two came about?
I mean, Cedric, Ring of Honor. I've been overseas for a while. When I got back from overseas, I pretty much let everybody know I was back in country, and all I was doing work overseas. And Ring of Honor told me they were interested in me and all, and then but they was just having tag. All they had open with tag slots, and I knew Cedric Alexander. And when I got back in country, man, it was when I was calling people or whatever, I gave them my booking price, and they was like, well, we just get Cedric Alexander. I'm like, who is this Cedric Alexander guy? And we met one day, man, and I was blown away by his talent, man. He's a young guy. He's hungry. And basically what he was doing was going out, getting his name out. He was going out everywhere he can go, to get his name out there, man. And the kid had talent. I talked to him. I thought that was extremely rare, because a lot of young indie guys or whatever, when they're on the indies, they only work certain places, and they want to do this and they want this and that, or they only put in, a little bit of effort. But Cedric was different, man. He just had so much heart and so much passion for the business. He literally ate, slept, and drank it, and that drew me closer to him, because I think that if more wrestlers have that same mindset, there's no reason why they shouldn't make it. So we formed a tag team, and once we began to tag, and our chemistry, it just was ridiculous. And so we presented with Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor gave us a chance, and that was it. And basically, I teach him more moral type deal, because he's got the wrestling down pat, and then the chemistry that we have, him having more of a hybrid style, and me of a technical high flyer type style, and him more of a striker, and me more of an innovator. We just gel it all together, and I believe it comes up with something phenomenal. And my main thing is just making sure that in this life that we live now, that he stays clean, because I'm like, man, you keep your nose clean. There's no reason why in 5 years you shouldn't be a superstar. I mean, a household name within 5 years. That's what I believe.
Ring of Honor Wrestling, which I've been a fan of for quite a while, and finally I had a chance to watch it on TV. And I seen YouTube. I seen a lot of other people I never heard of, and it's just fun to watch, just to see, actual wrestling. It's great, man, and I'm happy to see Ring of Honor getting the television deal, and hopefully that y'all can take it to a whole nother level, because sky's the limit for that company. What's it like working for Ring of Honor when you got Kevin Steen, who's the current champion? You got Strong. You have the House of Truth. You have the Briscoe brothers, Hoss and Benjamin. List goes on and on. What's it like working with these guys?
It's an extremely talented locker room, to say the least. And I believe if I had to separate the three companies, of course, Ring of Honor, TNA, and WWE, I believe WWE would be entertainment, wrestling, and TNA would be, with WWE, entertainment, wrestling, TNA, entertainment, wrestling, and Ring of Honor would be wrestling, wrestling, and we're entertaining while we're wrestling. And I believe that's what the difference is in the company. We actually focus on the sport, and to have those athletes, there are a lot of guys from WWE or whatever that, get let go and all, and they go to different companies and all, and they pretty much do the same thing they were doing in WWE. But all the guys that we have that have been other places are the athletes. Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, Lance Storm. These guys that we have that have been other places aren't just guys that just, okay, they will start there, let's make the company bigger. These are actually guys that are able to adjust the athletic standpoint of Ring of Honor, and compete in an athletic space and not in a entertainment zone. So it's more of a sport than a show.
That's definitely good to see, just to show that, what's really important. You can have your good guys and your bad guys, and the storylines. I get all that, but at the end of the day, it's what you do inside that swing. And Ring of Honor, like you said, wrestling, and then some. So obviously, there's been a lot going on as pertains to the tag team championship picture. They were once held by the All Night Express, and due to Kenny King's situation, they are now looking for new tag team champions. And let me ask you, what's your take on the whole Kenny King situation?
My whole Kenny King thing is this, man. I know Kenny King personally. He's a friend of mine. And the wrestling business is the wrestling business, man. I believe there are some different ways he could have went about it, but then there's different ways Ring of Honor could have went about it. I wish they would have went about it different ways, because, losing somebody like him is a loss I wish they could have went about it differently. But it's this, man. People are trying to make it in this world. People are trying to pay bills, and people want to make it to the top. And I believe, with everything said, he's a grown man. He made his own decision. Who am I to judge?
I guess at the end of the day, it's just something that some things could be done a lot better. I'm still a fan of Kenny King, and it's a pretty cool first name, considering my name is Kenny, but that's besides the point. Not only are you a professional wrestler, but you are a pastor as well. When you got into the whole you out here trying to balance. I mean, you out here balancing wrestling and being a pastor. I mean, that has to be difficult. How do you manage to balance the two, considering how people's perception of professional wrestling?
Well, I can't change perception. I can only perform when I'm there, and my thing is this, a lot of the perception they have about professional wrestling is right, but that's my thing is this, the after show is mostly what gets people, and what they see during the show or whatever is cool, but it's the after show that locks people in, and I believe that I can live a life of integrity after the show and during the show that will prove that, what I live and what I stand for is the honest truth. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I've been blessed to be able to use my legit character in Ring of Honor, and that's one thing I faced with other promotions that wanted to use me before. They wanted me to not mention, the truth that I am an ordained minister, and I'm actually assistant pastor at my church, or whatever, and they want keep that on the hush. But Ring of Honor was like, no, let's go with that. Be yourself, and how else? What other honor do you have than to come in as yourself? And so that's basically it. I mean, a lot of the things they say about wrestling is true. I mean, drugs, sex, alcohol. I mean, that's part of entertainment business. Period. To act like it doesn't exist would be naive. However, it's your choice whether you choose to do that or not. And my thing is to be a light in a world to where people might not go to church or whatever, but they watch a wrestling match. And if they see somebody there that represents the church and doing it in a manner to where it entertains them, and I believe I have the gift to be the best out there. And the only way to be the best is to be around the best, and that's where I am now. I'm around the best, and I believe I have the potential to be the best. We have the potential to be the best tag team in the world, and so the only way we can do that is by being there, and I believe we've been gifted to do so. And I believe my gift is to be able to be a light in that world, to show that Christians can compete at a high level of sports and be champions and uphold integrity at the same time.
Good for Wing of Honor for not only letting you wrestle, but still let you be an assistant pastor as well. I mean, I guess Christianity and wrestling, people would think, that doesn't mesh, but you're a prime example of that. You can do both and still, go with your beliefs and stay true to yourself. And it's like the old saying goes, it don't matter who you are, what color you are, what religion you believe in. When you're in that square ring, I mean, that's where all that matters. And I think all fans want to see is to see a good match. So I got a lot of respect for you, man, not just for your wrestling ability, but for your Christianity. And I'm a Christian myself, so see someone like yourself do this and perform well. I mean, much props to you, man.
I appreciate that.
And I see that Cedric, his birthday is today, and I did not know that his birthday was today. So happy birthday to Cedric, and I guess we schedule him some other time.
He should be calling in. I need to send him a text and see why he's not on the thing. I called him earlier, but young people they text. They don't talk on the phone. They text. So, y'all drive me crazy with that. He'll send me 3 or 4 texts, and I text him back, and he'll hold the whole conversation on the phone with text messages. And I'm like, man, just call me. And I call him. He won't answer. He send me a text back.
Blame
He's trying to train me how we do it in the daytime, I guess.
Blame
I really
technology, man. Blame technology. I tell you, it's like it's conversations and the phone's not what it once was, and I guess
do.
texting is just taking over, and I think it needs to
Yeah,
stop.
you're right, man. We're gonna be texting our radio interviews.
I, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what that would be. So other than being part of Ring of Honor, do you have any upcoming shows you'd like to promote?
Uh, I do other stuff as well. I'm also like I do plays and stuff, and we have this play that we're getting ready to do in Southern Pines, North Carolina, called A Battle Within. And basically, it's a wrestling play. It's basically about a guy named Tony Platinum who is changing his life around. It's in a church scene to where the preacher's preaching, of course, and he's getting ready to walk the aisle to receive salvation and change his life. And as he's walking down the aisle, coming down the aisle, consequently, he has to go through a wrestling ring. And when he goes through the wrestling ring, he meets a demon called Legion, and that's played by me. And basically, Legion takes him through his life, through a wrestling match and through like scenes in the ring of all the weaknesses that he has, and tries to use it against him to keep him from making a decision of changing his life and all. So it's about an hour long match, but it basically it hits points on drugs, alcohol, money, pornography, womanizing, any weaknesses that men deal with, low self-esteem, and all these things that keep us from making a decision to change our life and all. And when they called me about this project, Platinum Praise Ministries, I jumped to it. I was honored to be part of this, and we've done it before. We did maybe 4 or 5 months ago at a place, and 34 people made decisions to change their life that night. And I believe we're believing for more this time. We're going to do it in another town, and we're getting ready to get DVDs made. We're going to make it into a movie and all. So we'll see how far it goes. You know, all this talk now, but we do have different venues to do it at, to do the play at, and people are inviting us to do the plays, different places and all. And it's basically like the Bible says, you know, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirit and principalities, and that's a legit thing. A lot of times in life, you know, we're facing the demons on the inside, but we're living in the world on the outside, and it's a lot of people that are smiling on the outside, but on the inside they're crying and torn apart on the inside because they're facing these demons that they can't conquer. And it's just putting it into the limelight and showing more of the battle within on the main stage. So that's why the play is called A Battle Within.
Awesome stuff, and great message behind it. Everybody go check it out if you're in the North Carolina area. You can follow Caprice on Twitter at Caprice Coleman, and check this brother out on Ring of Honor Wrestling alongside Cedric Alexander. You go to ringofhonorwrestling.com, I believe, to check the local listings. I know here in check for your local listings and that tag team tournament that's going on to determine the new tag team champions. Be on the lookout for that as well. And I think the next Ring of Honor show is Death Before Dishonor, September. Y'all just coming off of bowling points, and it's a lot of fun stuff. And I got it. How big would it be for you and Cedric to be the next tag team champions? I mean, I
believe we can do it. I have. Were you finished? I didn't mean to cut you off.
How big is it? How big would it be for you and Cedric to win the tag team titles, considering the competition that's there with the Briscoe brothers and Hoss and Benjamin and so forth? How big would it be for you two to walk out with the gold? Y'all a pretty damn good tag team myself. I think y'all deserve to be in that category, considering you beat the Briscoes earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, how big would it be?
We have a win over the Briscoes. We have a win over the World's Greatest Tag Team. We were actually the legit number one contenders for the tag team titles, and we were next in line for the tag team title shot at the show in Spartanburg, South Carolina, that was scheduled for, I want to say July 27th of last month, but ended up being canceled. And when it was right before it was canceled, of course, Kenny jumped ship, and the titles went up for grabs. So we're actually like the ones next in line to get a title shot, and we never received our title shot. But now the title's up for grabs. So basically, we're inside the tournament, and I believe we have a lot of potential to make it to the finals to win the thing. I know a lot of the teams, and I think when Cedric and I both came to Ring of Honor, our main thing was we wanted to be able to prove that we could coexist with the greatest tag teams there. But with being around them and now seeing the preparations that we've made and the things that we do to prepare ourselves for these things, I believe far exceeds what other teams are doing. And it's funny to me because I tell Cedric all the time, about staying drug-free, alcohol-free, and keeping your mind right, and staying out of situations that, these people that might not make as much smart decisions, they'll fade away, and we'll still be here. And I believe that what we've done training-wise supersedes what we think others are doing, and I believe we have the potential to be the tag team champions, to be the best. And I believe being around these guys, there's nobody that's a weak link in these tournaments, in the tournament that we're going against. And I believe that it's anybody's game, but I believe it's our game too.
And I began to wonder if Wet Titus, the other half of All Night Express, is going to be a part of the tag team title tournament himself. And if so, who's his tag team partner going to be? So that also should be interesting to watch as the road to this tag team title tournament continues. Again, check out Wing of Honor. I mean, I understand you got your WWEs and TNA, and they're nice, but please check out Wing of Honor, which I've been a fan of for quite a while. And it's must-see wrestling, and you won't be disappointed. And check out these two guys named Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander, the brothers. They out there competing and everything. So check them out, man. Ring of Honor, check them out, most definitely. My last question for you is, if you can give anyone advice and on wanting to become a professional wrestler, what would it be?
Take it serious. Take it serious. It's the whole circle of things. Taking care of your body. It's getting into the gym. It's getting trained by somebody that's in the business and trying to get your name out there. Being the best you could be for the business. When I got back to the country, I was kind of disappointed a little bit because I seen so many. I would wrestle places and all, and then I would go somewhere and all. They'd be like, "Hey, you don't wrestle?" Like, yeah. So, man, my nephew's wrestling. He said he wrestled with you too, and I'm like, "Who's one?" Yeah, he works at Pizza Hut, or he works at so and so. Now I'm not down on anybody's job or nothing, but when they said that, the particular person they was talking about, it was basically like they were degrading what we were doing because the person, of course, he worked at Pizza Hut. There's nothing wrong with that, but he never went to the gym, never worked out, and he basically wanted to get into wrestling because he thought it was something easy to do, and he wasn't respecting the business wherever he went. I believe that when you get into wrestling, you need to get into wrestling with a mindset of being a professional wrestler. That means you're professional at all times. And that means you uphold the business. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking in ring and out of the ring to respect the business. Because it's an insult to a business for somebody that looks like they should be sitting in the stand, be in the ring. And I can't. I'm not talking about size because of course I'm a smaller wrestler. I've been a smaller wrestler too, but I believe when you step inside the ring and you start wrestling, this people on the outside should be like, okay, this guy belongs here, And I believe that's a big difference. As long as you have that respect, and I believe that's the privilege of Cedric Alexander as well, that he had that desire and that respect to uphold the business, and that's the advice I would give. Take the business serious, take the sport seriously.
And again, you can follow Caprice Coleman on Twitter at Caprice Coleman. Follow Cedric on Twitter at Cedric Alexander. Before I let you go, Caprice, I ask all guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Hey, this is Caprice Coleman, and you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Best success with your ministry and wrestling career. And you informed Mr. Alexander I wish him a happy birthday and bust his chops a little bit. And
We'll do. Take it easy, man.
And I'll make we'll schedule his interview some other time. But thank you for being on behalf of the team, and thank you again for your time.
No worries. Thank you.
You have a good night.
All right, you too. Bless you now. Bye.
God bless you too, man. That was Caprice Coleman of Ring of Honor